Hi everybody, welcome back to the Watford Way, and yeah, it's been a crazy few days in the life of a Watford fan. Obviously Nigel Pearson being sacked on Sunday, Hayden Mullins and Graham Stack have replaced him, but we move on in football and we straight on to Manchester City on Tuesday evening at Vicarage Road, and what a big game that is for Watford. I don't think we've ever beat Manchester City. I think I saw a stat, I think it's 1989 was the last time we beat Manchester City, either in the league. So it's going to be a big ask, but hopefully the boys can pull themselves together, and hopefully it won't be another 8-0 defeat. A big thanks to Joe from the Main Road Ramble podcast for coming onto the channel to give his view from the opposition's perspective. All his links will be down below in the description. And as always, while you're down there, also let me know your score predictions for the game. I'll be back with some fan cams after the Manchester City game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, this is Joe Ritchie from the Main Road Ramble. We are a Manchester City fan podcast and blog. You can find us on Twitter at Main Road Ramble and on our website, mainroadramble.com. Thanks to the Watford Way guys for having me on. They asked me to come and provide some insight into Manchester City's injury situation, get some thoughts on Watford's season so far, and ultimately give a preview for the match this Tuesday. So from a Manchester City perspective, unfortunately we're coming off a pretty disappointing defeat to Arsenal in the Emirates FA Cup semi-final. One of those matches where, from a fan perspective, and I think honestly Pep and his staff will feel the same way, it was a pretty lethargic match, pretty disappointing. It seemed like they just weren't really up for it, which is pretty atypical of the City side. So they'll be looking to bounce back from that defeat, and ultimately with the Champions League right around the corner, with the second leg against Real Madrid, City will hopefully be ending the season, these final two matches in the Premier League, on a high. As far as the squad goes, we only have two major injuries right now, with Sergio Aguero and Claudio Bravo out. So Scott Carson will be backing up Ederson, and likely Gabriel Jesus will be starting for City up front. Watford's season's been really interesting. I'm sure Watford fans will probably agree, but maybe not for the better, that it's been interesting because as I record this, 5 managerial changes in one season just seems unfathomable. I think from a fan perspective, a player perspective, and the staff, it has to be incredibly frustrating, especially for Nigel Pearson. I think, obviously there's been a lot of managers who have been at the helm this season, but for Nigel Pearson, he took over the club where they were 20th in the table. Things were looking pretty bleak, and now that they're in a situation where they are 17th right now, they're safe. Obviously, there's still 2 matches to play, but he got them into a position where at least they have a chance at survival and staying in the Premier League. And I think looking at the team as a whole, you have the likes of Dakar, Success, Sarr, players like that. There's endless talent in this side. I've seen it against City. I've seen it against other clubs. Obviously, you all took down Liverpool and Manchester United, so we very much appreciate that from a City perspective. But to go through 2 or 3 managers is hard, but 5, it really kind of obviously takes a lot out of the club morale. It's hard for these managers to come in, be expected to know that, if you don't win, there's a chance we're going to get relegated, but they don't have the luxury of signing the players that would fit their system. They don't have the time to really implement their system at all. So it's certainly a tough position to be in. I can understand where the board's feeling a lot of pressure to, can we get somebody in to quickly get us a couple points just to stay up right now? But I think where Nigel Pearson ultimately brought the club up from 20th to 17th, it seems a little harsh. And I also worry in that, where there's such an irregular offseason coming up after the final match this weekend, that whatever manager you do hire, they're not really going to have a ton of time ahead of the whenever the next season starts. It sounds like it's going to be in September. So like I said, I hope that Watford can pull it together here. Maybe not against my Manchester City, but ultimately do enough to stay up the season, because I think that they're a side that on their day, they're really fun to watch, and they just don't seem a championship side to me. They seem like a Premier League side. So looking ahead to Tuesday's match in particular, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Watford looking to get any points that they can, and Manchester City looking to bounce back off a really disappointing defeat. Both sides are going to be coming at it looking to really put their mark on the match. I think that it won't be what it was earlier this season. I don't see an 8-0 performance by any means. I always am wary of a new manager appointment. It seems like whenever the City play these new managers, you can always kind of have a little bit of worry, because teams always seem to bounce back for the first couple of matches because, okay, there's new life in the squad. We have a new manager, someone who's ready to bring in fresh ideas. Let's show them what we got. So for that reason, I think it'll be, very competitive from Watford's perspective, and from a Manchester City perspective, they essentially have 2 matches to figure it out ahead of playing Real Madrid next month. So they're going to be looking to come out and, get as many goals as they can, keep some tidy possession, and ultimately, ideally, keep a clean sheet. So like I said, I don't see it being an 8-0 match. Ultimately, I think this is going to be a 2-1 scoreline in favor of Manchester City. I think Watford just have a little too many injuries to key players that would probably be what they'd need to snag a point or 3 points here. So for that reason, with the depth that City have, I'm going to go with 2-1. But yeah, big thank you again to the Watford Way for having me on, and good luck to Watford the rest of the season. Thank you.